Hi everyone and welcome to Warhammer. We're your hosts Jack
and Dan.
Today we're going to be talking about the recent success of Space Marine 2.
Yeah, it's officially launched this month. It's already broken records for a Warhammer video game.
It has.
It's had rave reviews, including from you.
It certainly has.
But will this bring a wave of new recruits into the tabletop game?
It's crazy because it's again, and we'll talk more about who it's beat and such later on, but the game's doing really well and it's really fun. I've been playing it. Some of the videos I have to edit slightly late. But I've managed to get them done. There's a couple of late nights here and there, but the game's really good fun, really good. But yeah, what is it all about, Dan?
I mean, it's the sequel to Space Marine 1, funnily enough, with it being Space Marine 2.
Okay, it's written on there.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
It does what it says on the tin.
Checks out.
Yeah, it carries on the story of Lieutenant Demetrian Titus.
Yes.
So it's basically, this one is a bug hunt, isn't it? Shooting and slashing hordes of Tyranids.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, in Space Marine 1, it was orcs.
Yes.
Tyranids.
Yes.
Loving it.
Lots of Tyranids. Yeah.
Bloody lot of Tyranids there. Yeah, they've done some really good work with some of the AI in there. Some of the AI, like it's weird because, like, I do have to say, the guys who you're with, the other two Space Marines, their AI is okay, you know, like they know how to shoot and they can do certain things, but the swarm that they've done is like two different AIs merged into one. So like the swarm is like its own AI where it knows where to go in, like it does what it does, but when you get close to the swarm, it splits off into separate bits of AI and then it acts independently opposed to a swarm.
That feels like the hive mind should, doesn't it?
Exactly, yeah. So they've done it really well.
Am I right in thinking you can choose from 6 types of Marines? Is that right?
You can. So obviously the main mission, you are just Titus working your way through, but there's the co-op, the PvP element, alongside online as well. You can choose between tactical, assault, vanguard, bulwark, and sniper and heavy.
Right.
Great classes. I typically go with the bulwark because it's a big sword, big shield.
Right.
Really fun. Yeah. Really good. Just bashing the enemies with a shield and such, but also defending your allies. Really enjoy that element. And briefly mention as well how it's you can do solo PvP, you can do online PvP as well, or co-op PvE, so campaign wise as well.
Yeah, co-op PvE is like what's really taken off, isn't it?
It is.
You basically get your battle brothers together. And
because they've done it really well. Like instead of like doing it via like Call of Duty, where it's just like multiplayer, whatever. It's like the operations of what they've called it is like its own campaign, but it relates to the exact same campaign. So you're Titus doing the main mission, if you will, and then basically Titus is like, we have a secondary objective in the same mission that needs to be complete. You guys can go do this, and that's when you convert to, opposed to playing as Titus, you play as one of those guys instead. And it's just really fun. It's just really, really good.
And it's fair to say, I mean, it's been an instant success, hasn't it?
It's
a game everyone's talking about in video game circles.
It's crazy. I'm very happy how well it's taken off. I was a bit, before it came out, I know how good Space Marine 1 was, and it felt like it's not changed. Everything's been improved. It's a massive difference. I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you've played Dawn of War.
Yeah.
Dawn of War 1, amazing. Like Eternal Crusade and such like that. And it was just such a good game. And Dawn of War 2 came out. And like they removed a lot of features and made it really like they removed like base building and such in Dawn of War 2, and it became
kind of it was kind of sat between two camps, didn't it? It wasn't the base building stuff, and it was what a lot of people really enjoyed about the first one.
Everyone loved it, and they removed it, and it was like, okay, well, it's still okay. It wasn't like the best. Again, they brought I think Last Stand in that, where you basically played like different factions, so like Necrons, Eldar, Orcs, whatever, against hordes, which was again pretty fun. And Dawn of War 3 came out, and my God, what were they thinking? Dawn of War 3, they removed everything. So pretty much, they brought back base building, but it wasn't base building. It was, you basically could build something in a specific location, and that was it. You couldn't like expand fully. It wasn't very good. What you wanted.
It was very linear, wasn't it?
It was. And then like for some reason they removed the cover element. So in Dawn of War 1, I think a little bit in 2. If there's a little bit of rubble on the floor or like a crater, you can get inside of it and you got like a bit extra armor and a bit extra safe.
Right, yeah.
In Dawn of War 3, they created these dome bubbles in certain sections of the map. So what that just turned into is you rushed up, you got your dome, and then it was a stalemate for a very long time. Whoever charged first lost because they would charge, you were in a better defensive position, destroyed them, and then you just moved up and won, and it was boring and it flopped.
Gameplay wise, it wasn't good. And Space Marine 1 was, as you said, like we wanted to avoid that.
Yeah.
Space Marine 1 was a cherished game, and there was As always with Warhammer fans, we were slightly nervous about the sequel in case it didn't meet the same levels.
Exactly.
But it has. I think or it's surpassed them.
It's definitely surpassed it. And
Yeah.
again, they've added extra stuff to the game to make it just that much better. Again, PvE, core operations. Multiplayer was already there in Space Marine 1, but they've just enhanced it. And they've basically kept it the same, but enhanced it, which is what you want in a game.
Yeah.
For a sequel, it's what you want. And again, talking about instant success, we've obviously mentioned about like all the rave reviews that are going on.
Yeah.
And I think you briefly mentioned in here how it's peaked.
Yeah, according to the game website IGN, they said early access achieved a peak of 134,000 players. Early access, there was so much whining about that online that people couldn't. I mean, I can understand why. If you're really excited for it and then you couldn't afford early access or whatever, fair enough. Yeah. But it did very well. I mean, 134,000 on early access is good, but the 24-hour peak concurrent player count, the highest so far, is 225,690. This is at the time of recording, but that is the highest peak ever achieved by a Warhammer game.
Yeah, which is crazy to think because you think before this it was Total War.
It was Total War Warhammer 3, and that record was 166,000, so it smashed it by nearly 60,000.
That's a popular game. That is a popular game for this.
Yeah.
So for this game, that is actually, how old is it now? Actually, when did Space Marine 1 come out?
Over 10 years ago. I think.
So it's a good while ago. So for this have that much of a gap and then come back smashing, I think it's great.
It is. It really shows the loyalty that 40k, the 40k community has, and also video gamers that don't play the tabletop game who remembered how good Space Marine 1 is. It's. I mean, I think it's also worth thinking that in the broader video game sector, like the most comparable game, I guess, would be Helldivers 2.
Yeah,
and that peaked at 458,000. So we're not mainstream yet, but we're not a million miles away.
I think there's definitely elements to why that was a big difference. Because how much was Helldivers 2?
That's true. It was a lot. Yeah,
it was a lot cheaper.
Yeah, you're right.
And it was more of an indie developer opposed to I guess like a AAA. Thingy. So market comparison wise, and for being such a big niche, because again, Helldivers 2, it was known out there, and that had a very old game. But for it to come out, it was like, oh, cool, shooter, let's go. And it maybe Space Marines suffered slightly because of that, because it was like Helldivers 2 was so good. Space Marine was like, oh, well, we've already got a bug shooter. We don't need another one.
Yeah, we don't need another one. Yeah, we've already got a sci-fi bug shooter.
Yeah, so maybe
we've got sci-fi bug shooter at home.
Bargain bucket kind of. But no, I mean, to be fair, like I say, regardless though, it's still a smashing success.
I'm really good.
Happy it's came out, and I'm happy it's done well, because I just want more of it. More things to talk about, more things to get people into the hobby, and it's just really good. It's really good.
Tell us, because you've been hammering this, I think it's fair to say, but you have been definitely enjoying it, haven't you?
Yeah, it was really good, to be fair. I've been trying to smash as much as I can, to be fair. Last night alone, I came on, I was like, right, I'm going to get one of the videos done for us so that next week it gets released. And I was like, right, I'll do that first, and then I'll play one mission, just one little mission when I get on. So I opened up the game, and then I was looking at the armory, because you can basically customize your own, which again, fantastic. They've not done like a Halo. Again, I'm talking about Halo again. I always talk about Halo. They'll not do a Halo Infinite where they basically lock every single color scheme behind, and you can't customize in Halo. You can't customize your Spartan like you could in Halo 1, 2, and 3, and so on.
Yeah.
They lock down everything behind the price.
Yeah, all paywalled.
And I was so mad. And then when Space Marine 2 comes out, I was like, oh, here we go. It's going to be like, I'm not going to be able to play my favorite faction, Black Templars or Salamanders, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was playing the campaign, and I got to the armory, and I was like, oh, this looks cool. I was like, what's this? And I started looking. I was like, oh, it's all locked. How do I unlock them? And it was like, oh, I can do these things called time trials. For each of those classes that we mentioned, there's time trials where you've got to do certain things within like 60 or 40 seconds long.
Yeah,
and you get like some points which you can then use to unlock your favorite faction or whatever.
Class.
So I sat there and I was like, oh, I'll do one or two. I'll just do a couple, then I'll do the campaign. Start doing them. And I realized Black Templars was there as an unlockable skin. Yeah. So I was like, well, I've got to unlock that, don't I?
Yeah.
Started doing more and more of the trials, and honestly, I think I came off at about half one last night. So now we're recording 6 hours later.
I was checking your eyes this morning to see how bloodshot you were. You looked all right, actually. But I thought, you must have been sensible. But.
Swerving as I'm driving home. I'd be like,
nodding off at the wheel.
I just had a great dream. But no, it's again, I smashed that, so I could basically unlock the armor set that I want. So
lovely.
It's one of those. It sounds so daft to have to like give them props for something daft as a pain scheme, but it's so refreshing to see that I don't have to to basically grind my arse off in crap situations to get, because these time trials, they weren't hard. Some of them were, there was a couple of them that took a little bit of time, but realistically it only took time because each of those factions have free time trials to complete,
right?
So straight away we're looking at already like 20 plus different missions to do, so that's why it took time. It wasn't so much it was hard. Like Call of Duty, to get a skin you've got to like kill like
4,000 enemies.
Exactly. So this is refreshing, and it's nice to see, because considering a lot of the chapters out there look unreal in the game.
They've done a fantastic job for almost all of them. Well, all of them, I think. And they've it's just very refreshing to not have to have pay to skin, if you like, instead of pay. You can earn your skins, and they're reasonably easily achievable.
Exactly. Now there is a season pass for it. I haven't bought the season pass because that is a little pricey. It's about £34. You do get some skins of it, but if I looked at it and the skins just weren't for me.
Right.
Like I'm so much happy with the Black Templars. I think Dark Angels are coming out in season 2, so I might buy that one. I mean, those just look Dark Angels with the hoods and such. They just look really good.
Really evocative. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I'll probably buy that one, but I'll probably skip the first one. Although there are some good ones in there, I just don't need it for the price. It's a bit pricey, I will be honest.
Because the game ain't cheap either, is it? So
yeah, true. I think the game was about 60, 70 quid.
Yeah, I mean that's roughly par for the course for a
AAA game.
Top draw game, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So but going north of 100 for a season pass that you maybe don't need, then fair enough.
Exactly. There is a photo mode as well, which I love. The photo mode. Yeah. It's just, I took so many pictures of it because like you just get to you walk in. I mean, one of the first missions, I won't do any spoilers or anything like that, so do not worry, but you walk into certain areas and there's like a Lehman Russ to the side, or like there's just like guardsmen standing there with like on like bridges or like certain terrain that are just like defending, and you walk past and they're all like, his angels, like they're saying like, it's the Space Marines, but we're winning, and the instant morale boost that you give the men when you walk past them is just like, it's what you used to get it's what you used to get in Halo. You walk past and they're like, it's the Spartan, we're saved now. You don't get that anymore because no one cares for the Spartans. They've kept it the same for Space Marines, and it's worked really well.
I think one of the things that looking from the outside looking in, because my PC is about to die, so I've been
this would kill it. To be fair,
this would kill it. So I can't buy it yet. I'm waiting until I get a new PC. So I posted like the sad lonely meme of Pablo Escobar yesterday, like because me looking for people online because everyone's playing Space Marine 2. But it's but looking from the outside in, the balance that they've got there is phenomenal in terms of the gameplay. If you're straight, like my pal Foxton is a massive gamer, and he absolutely loves this game, but he's got very little interest in 40k. He doesn't play the tabletop game.
That's it.
But he can enjoy this as a fantastic gaming experience. But then on top of that, the amount of the level of detail that's in there for us, for the hardcore hobbyists is amazing.
There's just so many little things. I think someone posted a really awesome picture online as well, where like they were just walking past some like terrain bits, and they were like, hold on, like that's a model in real life. So like they picked it up and they're like, looks like identical to what's in the game. So it's really nice to see that they've actually took massive inspiration to put into the game from the tabletop.
It's exactly what I wanted. It is fundamentally a highly visual, beautiful version of what we play on the tabletop. It's like how you imagine these things in my head anyway.
You're exactly right. And the probably thing to mention is that I think themselves know that they were making something that would just had to look beautiful, because they've also added a photo mode, which again, so many pictures can be taken from it. And I took a few.
Yeah, we'll have to put some on screen if you've got some good ones.
I'll have to.
Also, let us know if you post some in the comments or whatever in the chat on our socials. If you've got any awesome pictures from the game, we'd love to see them.
Honestly, I really would, because there'll be so many things that I've missed in the game that I need to know. I will be replaying it on Veteran and obviously the harder difficulty as well, but I need to see them. I need more.
I've heard it's very hard. A few seasoned gamers are like, I'm not going to start it on the easy mode. And then we're like, I'm going back to easy mode.
I think there's like easy, normal, Veteran, and I think there's something else. I forgot what the name is. But I think a few of our friends have definitely worked with Veteran.
Easy or normal is a good place to start, isn't it?
Normal's perfect. I think I've died a few times, but you want to do that. You want to get the experience of being like, I messed up here, I'll go back and do it. So it's definitely worth playing on normal. It's probably worth saying as well, after, is it, we can where we talked about like, is it good for Games Workshop? I think it really is, because I've already been going into work with people who are very big gamers but have never touched Warhammer, and I'll be honest, they're sick of me talking about Warhammer. I don't mention I've got a host a podcast, but I will bring it up if we start talking about it if they ask. But realistically, I walk in, I'm like, oh, so Space Marines, and everyone's like, Space Marines? Shut the fuck up. Get out of here. Yeah, we don't want to hear that. And then now I've got a few friends at work. I walk in, I'm like, oh yeah, brother.
For the Emperor, brother. Yeah.
Legit.
Greetings, brother.
He came in, it was quite funny. So one of my good friends, comes in the other day. He's like, Jack, he goes, I've been playing Space Marine 2. I'm like 3 missions in. He pulls out his little phone, scrolls up. He has loads of like questions he wants to ask. So like, the Rubicon process.
All right.
So he wants to know about like what that was. He wants to know what the machine people are. And why is there so much? He asked, I think one of the questions was, why is there so many candles? I was like, they're quite religious. They love the candles.
It's 40K, man.
It's 40K, grimdark.
Yeah.
So he had a boatload of questions I had to answer, which I spent like
love it.
20 minutes answering, which I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed.
I seen a guy on one of the Facebook groups I'm in, like one of the generic Warhammer groups, and he was like, guys, I'm really loving this game. I'm trying to get more into 40K. Is there a quick video I can watch on the lore? And everyone went, no. There's not a quick video.
That's it. That was another thing. So my friend was like, oh, so what are Space Marines? And I was like, yeah, so they're just like, genetically modified humans. And he goes, all right. And I was like, so he goes, well, how are what are the machine people? I said, the machine people are, they're tech marines, yada, yada. Well, not tech marines, Adeptus Mechanicus. And I was like, oh, well, technically Adeptus Mechanicus made Space Marines or helped modify their armor and such. And I was like, oh, actually, the weapons that you use. And I started like more and more. Then I was like, and he goes, oh, well, who's the captain? Who's the leader? I was like, oh, well, it's, they've got the chapter master, and then they've got the Primarch and such. And I was like, and the Primarch is like father of like, them, but then the grandfather is the emperor, then the emperor is the son of them. And I was like, oh, then started looking at the height difference between like a guardsman and like the emperor. And he goes, oh, well, hold on, who's the Thunder Warriors? I was like, oh, funny enough. Then I started explaining that and then he's like, hold on. He goes, right, well, and he asked the general question, oh, well, who's the good guys? And I was like, well, there are technically no good guys, but if you were looking for the good people, it's this faction that no one should play it now.
It's Necrons, right?
No, you watch your mouth. But it was just funny to see, like, because again, there was so much lore in. The more you talk about it, it's like, when do I stop? Because every little bit is just as important as the last. So it's like, I don't want to bombard you with it all, but at the same time, I do. I kind of do.
It's lovely to see people coming in with so many questions like that, and it has, the days of like playing the hobby and being considered a pariah, excuse the pun, for like playing 40K. There's a little bit of that, but it's nowhere near what it was like 10, 20, 30 years ago. But games like this just help to mainstream it. And I know some people don't want that, but I think just the fact that it's bringing more inquiring minds, and not all of them might join the hobby, but it's definitely generating a lot of buzz around 40K, isn't it?
It is, which is probably, it's really nice to see, because again, I mean, I know people refer them as like tourists and such.
Yeah, but like, I don't like that.
Yeah, it's a bit of a naff name, but it's kind of like, well, look, people coming into the hobby, and people, again, this the game. The hobby's so big, and you got the painters, the people who like the lore, the people who like to play the game, and now there's also almost, this could be its own subsection within the hobby again, who just likes the games.
Yes,
this
definitely.
is going to bring a lot, because again, there was Warhammer Total War out there and such, but that was it was quite a small. I don't want to say it's too small, because it is, based on the numbers, it's still quite a large base.
I mean, Total War is Total War, and I think people will play it with, if you like Total War, you can probably play it with whatever skin, if you like, that it comes with, because it's a different variance in gameplay type thing. But it kind of kept the flame of fantasy alive as well, the old world, because obviously they killed off, it was a weird thing, because it killed off the old world, but you were still playing it in Total War.
Made a cracking game. It's like, hold on, what's your thoughts here? It was very weird, but I really hope more people come into it. Like,
definitely. I mean, what surprised me, obviously it's me, so I'm going to look at the negatives or some of the downsides here, but what really surprised me was at the time we were recording this, GW has not announced any major mini releases to coincide with this game. It's almost like they've missed a trick.
It's a weird one, isn't it? Because like, I don't want to play Space Marines, but I'm playing Space Marine 2, and I'm like, oh, these models are really cool. They're really missing the trick with like publicizing it, or again making models of the unit. Could have almost made a kill team.
Yeah, even a kill team.
Guys.
Yeah, kill team of these guys would have been amazing.
Yeah.
You're right. Yes. That's a brilliant idea.
Well, do you reckon they were worried that it wouldn't be a hit as much as it is?
I mean, something like I was thinking like even an Ultramarines battle box. So you're not even having to release new models. Maybe it's a new limited edition Titus would be lovely, but you could have just whacked your existing Primarius range into a battle box, tied it a nice bow around it, bit of discount, and then the people that are coming into it would have been like, wow. Yeah. But maybe I think the starter sets will do that anyway, because the starter sets are, if you walk into a GW store because you've been playing Space Marine 2, you've been playing Space Marines versus Bugs, what's in the starter set? Space Marines and Bugs.
That's
hallelujah. So maybe they just thought, we'll just encourage them to buy the starter sets. But it just feels a little bit like they should have done something about it.
It would have been good for them to maybe do like some sort of crossover between like the tabletop lore kind of thing and the game, because they did that with Leviathan, didn't they?
Yes.
So when Leviathan came out in 10th, if everyone remembers, but the first game you played between Space Marines and Tyranids, you went online to then say which one of them won. So I think you scan like a code. It would have been good if they'd done that in like, I don't know, in like the game where they had like a QR code, be like, oh, scan this, and like, oh, I don't know, maybe like, oh, actually they could do it online where it's like, you know, complete certain missions within X amount of time. Yeah. And if you win, then, you know, if the Space Marines win, great. They win a bit more on the lore. If they lose, then the Tyranids might win. Yeah. It's just something that gets everyone more
There's
engaged.
ways to tie it in, you're right. And I think they missed that. I mean, in fairness, Combat Patrol has literally just come out a couple of weeks before this. I think it started the first week of September, and this is second week of September this launched, didn't it?
Yeah.
So it's probably going to be good for Hachette that publishes the Combat Patrol, and I guess GW kind of gains something from that if they sell more magazines, I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
But it does feel a little bit like a wasted opportunity to me. But coming back to what you were talking about before, you were saying you were hoping it brings more people into the hobby. But in terms of hope versus expectations, it probably is, isn't it? It probably is going to bring people in.
It's got to. I mean, with the recent success, I mean, again, I'm talking about people at work who've never talked about Warhammer before, and they're asking so many lore things about it. I mean, I can already see that it has brought people in. Yeah. Will it bring in the numbers that GW expect versus what we expect? Hopefully, because, I mean, naturally, videos online like YouTube videos and obviously the hobby itself on YouTube should naturally grow because the people are getting more and more interested in, oh, what is Space Marines? You know, they'll be playing the game, they'll hear something, they'll be like, oh, what is this? And then hopefully those YouTube videos get more popular and such. So hopefully just naturally as an entire hobby, it all just goes up more.
I think so. I said they're in the starter sets. You know, GW has got them literally in the displayed in the window is Tyranids versus Ultramarines, which is what you see in the game. And I think I've already seen some people saying, like, posting online, like, oh, I was looking into getting into the tabletop side, but these minis are ridiculously expensive. Like, you know,
just as much as the game.
Yeah, why am I paying this much for like 5 plastic minis or something? So there's but I think fundamentally it's going to bring more people in. Yeah. Weirdly, I just don't know if GW knew how big a hit it had on its hands because they haven't done anything to capitalize on it, and their forecasts for this year are pretty flat. So they because they're a stock exchange listed company, they have to give the market some indication of the stock mark's an indication of what they're expecting how things are going to go. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that this year, the last time I checked, they were the analysts who published those forecasts were saying that it was going to be about 2 to 3% sales increase this year, which is not a lot. Not compared to other years. You would expect. No, I mean, obviously the year before was a new edition of 40k, which is massive. Of course, it'll have. But this, you would think that the success of this game would account for that. Yeah, just more than that by itself. Yeah, I mean, they could have even. I don't want to give them tips because people will be different, but like they could have even like sold some of the boxes had like QR codes inside to then get like free skins for the game. Oh yes, totally. Could have done something like that. And I probably would have bought some. Yeah, I'm a creature of habit. I mean, what can I say? Interestingly as well, existing players like we have a friend Lewis who we call Chaos Lewis because all his armies are Chaos, aren't he? He's got Death Guard, World Eaters, and Chaos Space Marines. That's it. And Chaos Knights. He's got 4. But he's now betraying them. Yeah, he's fallen to Imperium. It's like the opposite way around. We're like, oh, Lewis, no, you. What do we call him now? Lewis. Yeah, no, yeah. But he's going to be. He's really interested now in collecting salamanders and dark angels. Dark angels, something green. But there's obviously within, like you were saying before, you've not probably bought a Space Marine in 20 years?
No,
15 years?
Again, Space Hulk.
Yeah,
Back to when I played that. Yeah.
And because of the Space Marine game, a lot of existing 40k players that maybe turned their noses up at Space Marines a little bit, or thought they were a bit dull, because there's lots of other interesting factions. Let's be honest.
Loads.
There's a few of us that are looking now at Space Marines that maybe weren't before, isn't there?
Yeah, and then I've not gotten to the multiplayer yet, but again, you can play as Chaos as well. So they've got some awesome skins inside there as well. So just looking at that, I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of skins they have, because I probably won't buy Chaos because I hate the trim.
Painting that trim, man.
The gold trim.
You painted enough gold trim on your neck ones, didn't you?
I have, and I'm sick of it. So I'm looking forward to playing multiplayer to get a bit more Chaos in me as well.
Yeah,
it's really nice.
Good.
But yeah, I think there's just so much to this game that's improved the hobby, which I'm really happy for.
It's definitely opened some doors, and then we've got the animation. There's that animation that's coming out that features. Am I right in thinking that features Titus in that as well? We're making that up. It's called Chaos, isn't it? So probably not.
I've forgotten. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a one-off. There's one animation coming soon from those guys that made what's it called? Love, Death and Robots.
Yeah. Yes, of course. Yeah. Man, there is. I'm not too sure if it's Titus. I don't know if Titus
I'm pretty sure. Well,
I'm
we should know.
That.
We made a video about it. So I think the episode's entitled Chaos.
Yeah. Nice.
But that's gonna. So we've got this video game is making an enormous wave of interest in 40k. We've got the animation coming out. We've got obviously a lot of hype around the potential for Cavill to make some kind of movies or shows or something like that as well. So there's going to be people, more people interested, and I think. Is there a responsibility on us as the 40k community to bring them in, like?
Well, as initiates, get them in. Just scream things at them. Like for the Emperor. Blood for the Blood Guard. Just say that sort of stuff. Now that'll get them hyped. But
I mean, the way I think it's the way you were saying, is almost not forced. We're not pushing it on them, but they're coming to you with questions at work.
Yeah. Like the Kimber was like a few questions, and they were like, "Oh, this looks good." And I think one of the first things they said, what kind of got me onto those questions, was he messaged being like, "This game just first of all looks unreal." So again, the photos, the cinematography and such, it was all amazing. And then he was like, obviously, I was sitting, I was like, "Well, if he loves the animation, what if I just suggest him some animations?" I think I sent him 4 ones. I sent him the Astartes by
Siyama Pedersen.
That's the one. Thank you.
What a great series that is.
If you've not watched it, I mean, you'll have to have watched it. You've got to. It's so good.
It ties in very well for somebody that's coming to the universe via Space Marine 2, doesn't it? And it's a good intro.
Perfect starting point. I also recommended the latest Games Workshop animation. What's it called? I've lost it.
The Tithes?
The Tithes?
Whatever. The Tithes,
Tithes. I can never pronounce stuff, you probably realised. But yes, that one. Again, I think episode 4 just came out.
I'm way behind on this. So
see, I don't have the subscription for it, but I'm looking at it via legal methods.
Perfectly legal methods.
But yes, so I'm watching that. Angels of Death as well by Games Workshop. Really cool little animation.
Yeah, again, very fitting.
Very nice. And the last one, just kind of then push the boat out in terms of get away from Space Marines. I went onto the Death Corps of Krieg. So the animation by
Sodaz,
yeah. So that video was taken down, but they're all recent uploads.
Yeah, they're back.
But make sure it is Sodaz that you go look for him on YouTube and basically give him a subscription, because he does Fallout animations now, which
really
are
good.
unreal.
Yeah,
done a few Halo ones, so check that out as well, because those ones are
just
class.
a very good animator.
Yeah, really good.
No, I think that's a brilliant idea, because you kind of absorb some of the lore via osmosis. It's like that. It's like we keep the modern film making is show don't tell.
Yeah,
and rather than it's a bit like that meme from Malcolm in the Middle, where Malcolm asks his dad a question and then the whole screen goes dark, like the background goes black.
Yeah,
kind of focusing. He's like, "Well, son," and it feels a bit like that with like trying to lore dump on somebody for 90 minutes or something.
It is.
It's also a bit intimidating to say, right, go and watch, a 2-hour looting video on the Emperor.
It's like, here was the Emperor of Mankind, 5-hour video. It's like, all right, buckle in.
Whereas the way you suggested with the animations, you kind of you have fun watching those, and you just kind of absorb little bits at a time.
And these ones are probably the better ones to start with, mainly because again, it's that thing you say, it's show not tell. I mean, Astartes has barely little talking in it.
There's not a lot of dialogue.
It's all action / all motion, movement, and it's really fitting to Space Marine 2, because although obviously they talk between themselves, it's still their actions are shown by what they do, basically. So yeah, I think that's probably one of the best ways of doing it.
Good. I think we need to, I said we need to be, as you do with any virgins, you need to be patient and gentle with them. And don't laugh at them online if they don't know the law of the background. We've got the benefits of being in and out of this hobby for a long time. So, it takes a while to learn.
It does. It really does.
I think we should also steer them away from the Warhammer store, try and catch them before anybody goes in.
Yeah. I remember, I'll not mention which shop I was in, but it was recently when I went to the Warhammer shop, and I said, I was like, I'm going in for this specific thing, And he's like, oh, yeah, no worries. I was like, well, are you looking for anything else? I'm like, no. He goes, oh, we've got the new Imperial Agents that just came out. I was like, just said I'm not here for these. I just said I want this and this. And he's like, oh, we don't have those in today. I was like, well, I'm out. Yeah. I'm gone. It's probably a small rant, small tangent, but
I know.
I left that shop and I was like, for God's sake, I just want this model, yada, yada. I went to Traveller Man. And Traveller Man has a much better selection and a much bigger range than the Games Workshop does in store. I find that really weird. It's really weird.
Some of the GW's got like a hybrid sort of system, so it's got relatively smallish shops which have got 2 or 3 gaming tables in, except they don't play games them anymore. And a reasonable amount of stock, and then they've got much smaller one-man stores which have got virtually nothing. But most indie gaming stores have more than them. If you go to somewhere like Element Games, just opening a new one in Birmingham, that will be will have many times more. Boxes of Warhammer than Warhammer does. Yeah,
because I don't know about you, but whenever I buy stuff, shopping online is always good. It's really easy, really handy, and 9 times 10 is pretty a little bit cheaper. I like just seeing it in person first before I buy it, because I get a more sense of scale / I kind of like seeing it is just a lot bit better in person than it is online.
I think if it's something you're moving into new, then it's nice to get the box in your hands, isn't it? Yeah. If you're buying if you've got 80 Necron Warriors and need some more Necron Warriors, you don't need to go to the shop, do you?
No, eBay. Things for that. But I guess this probably ties into how to welcome more people. But if you are looking to get into the hobby, do we recommend the Games Workshop store?
It's different.
It's an odd one, isn't it? Because I don't want to slate them, because their customer service can be really good. If you're looking to get some questions answered, they are probably the place to go, apart from being online.
A couple of years ago, when my son was getting into 40k, I'm a terrible teacher, and it was much easier to go to. They ran intro games, so they literally had a set of missions that they would take you through to allow you to build up and understand the rules. Yeah, and it was great. I don't know if they still do that. Let us know in the comments. I've heard that they don't do any games at all anymore, but let us know if you know. So that there is some pros definitely to going to the source, if you like, to the Warhammer store. But I do think if I was we've been doing it with our friend Max, to kind of don't go to the Warhammer shop. Go around the corner and buy it here for 15% less. Yeah, they've got more stock, as you just said. Yeah. It's cheaper, and you won't get the hard sell where they try and push stuff on you that you don't want.
Again, the only issue with that was that most of the people in those stores don't know.
They haven't got the
knowledge of the army. Whereas again, I went in and I had a really good experience when it was buying paints. Yeah. So positive, negatives. But if you're looking for cheap Warhammer, go somewhere else. If you're looking for a bit extra knowledge, just go to the Games Workshop, and don't be forced into buying it. Just get the knowledge and then leave.
This is true, yeah. I think gaming clubs as well. I noticed one of our pals, we've talked about him before, but Colin from Colin's Painting Adventure on Instagram, and he has mentioned this the other day, which I thought was a great suggestion, was that gaming clubs could be almost marketing themselves to those people, saying if you like this game and you want to know more about it, it's an easy way to go to test the water, isn't it? Yeah, go and have a startup game with somebody like that, a friendly gaming club. Then you're not having to do all of the investment in the models and stuff before you can decide if you like it.
It's because it's a big investment. At the end of the day. We've made a video on that.
We have,
which will be coming out. Don't go to the Games Workshop store.
Fundamentally, okay.
But final thoughts?
Yeah. Do you want to go first?
I certainly can. I first of all, I love the memes coming from it. I think it's just so funny. I'm getting memes sent from friends who don't play Warhammer, and they're just like, why is this on my timeline? And then I keep sending them more, and they keep watching it, and they're just getting more and more, and I'm just like, this is
really slowly reeling them in. Yeah. I love it.
Send us your favorite memes as well. I probably recommend it. Tag us in them, because I absolutely love seeing them. Definitely. I will watch them all. looking forward to more content for Space Marine 2. I'm looking to see what other seasons do. Maybe potentially more operations might come out, which would be quite nice to see.
Yeah.
And overall, can we just finish this podcast now so I can go play? Can we play some more Warhammer, please?
Yeah.
But no, that's me. Honestly, I think it's a great success. Happy to see it, and looking forward to more.
Yeah, I do think its success has taken GW by surprise. As we said, the forecast for the numbers doesn't reflect the popularity of this game. They didn't expect it, and they certainly haven't tried to cash in any way, which is just unlike GW.
It's weird. It's like offsetting.
Yeah, and I think it's got enormous potential to bring new players into the game. The only thing I think is you hit this nail on the head earlier is. There's going to be an awful lot of people walking into this thinking Space Marines are the good guys. So I could kind of deprogram some of them when they turn up. 40k's approach to good and evil is much more shades of grey, isn't it? Than good and evil.
Yeah.
But part of the fun, I think, is diving down a rabbit hole to find out. And the fact that there's such accessible media now.
Yeah.
If you want to just watch some animations, you can. If you really want to dive in, you can go and watch a 2-hour lore video. Why not? It's your time.
Why not?
But it's just very exciting the impact this game has had, and I think it's as you said, it's surpassed expectations on Space Marine 1. I think it's exceeded what the developers were hoping for.
Yeah,
and it's going to be it's creating a new video game legacy, I think. For 40k, which is brilliant.
It's a good start, and I hope more to come.
Yeah, I mean the fact that it's been such a success already, surely there's going to be more to come, isn't there?
Let's hope it's either a good Dawn of War or they just don't touch Dawn of War again, because if they go down that rabbit hole, they'll probably just lose a lot of fans again.
You'd like to think what they've done with Space Marine 2 is took the best elements and improved upon it.
Just literally,
while staying true to the lore.
Yeah,
and
they've added stuff and not removed stuff.
Yeah.
That's the key part of that.
So don't do that with Dawn of War, please. Then
go back to Dawn of War.
Yeah,
do a remaster of Dawn of War 1. Everyone will play it, I'm telling you now. Then make Dawn of War 2.1. Which is the same game, just better and more factions, armies, whatever. More stuff.
Yeah, that'll be class.
Yeah. Nice.
Cool. All right. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that. Let us know in the comments if you've been playing Space Marine 2 and how you've been finding it. Do send us your memes, tag us in your memes. And in the meantime, please like, share, and subscribe. It's free. It's really helping the channel grow, and we really appreciate it. And we'll be back soon with another podcast. Thank you.
Thank you.